Hi, and welcome to another session. My name is Niels KNUZEN. I'm the founder of KNUZEN SAP HCM Security, and we were founded in 2006, and we have the focus on SAP HCM and security. We are today delivering security solutions across the entire SAP product portfolio, but remain our focus in security issues related to SAP HCM. You'll be able to find more information about us on our website www.knuzen.com. But let's start with this session. This session will cover the customization of the organizational key. It's a field which is used for authorizations. This authorization object is used in the two main authorization objects for HR, which is the p-orgin and the p-orgin-con, the context-specific authorization object for HR. The organizational key, the VDSK1, is often left alone as a wildcard and not really used, but it can actually be used for solving different kind of authorization issues. I have been through a couple of examples, and one of them is where I have been setting up the organizational key for solving an issue with HR users who are not allowed to see each other's sensitive data, such as payroll appraisals. I've also been using it for HR partners. The HR partners were not allowed to see and access data for senior management. That was only for senior HR partners. So in this case, I also used the organizational key for solving this issue. So where do I find this organizational key? The organizational key VDSK1 is actually stored on info type 1 on the organizational assignment in personal administration on our employees. If you can't find it on info type 1, it might be because that the screen modification for this info type has been set so it has been hidden. But then you have to consult the HR consultants to find out. In this session we will show you where you can find this field in the authorizations objects, the p-orgin and p-orgin-con. And then we will also customize the organizational key based on the business example I just mentioned on the above slide, where we restrict HR users from accessing their colleagues' data. So our task is to set up the organizational key so it picks up the information of whether you are an HR employee or not. And for this I will use the personal sub-area, since the personal sub-area in this setup is reflecting a function such as HR or finance. When we have customized the organizational key, we will of course unit test it. I'll show you the unit test through a quick hire in PA40. Yes, but let's start with the customizing. First I will show you where you can find the organizational key. I have in this session entered PA30. PA30 will maintain master data for HR, and entered a personal number, and then I will select the organizational assignment and display. And here we can see, here we have the organizational key. In this case the organizational key has the KNZ3 entered, and that's actually from the personal area. But in my case I would like the personal sub-area to be reflected. So let's start with the customizing. So we will go to the PFCG where we'll set up the role. I have one for my HR administrators here. And the organizational key is used in POrgin and POrginCon. So now we'll enter the POrgin. And here you can see we have the organizational key reflected by values from K100 to K300, but not the K400, which was reflecting the HR. We have also the context-specific authorization object, the POrginCon, and here we also have K100 to K300 reflected. And you can see the name is VDSK1. So setting up the organizational key is done from the IMG. We'll go through the personal management to personal administration in organizational data, organizational assignment, and then we have it under organizational assignment as set up the organizational key. It contains several steps, this dialog box, and we'll start with the feature, VDSK1. And here we have one, it just delivers a return value called 01, but in our case we have a personal area for UK. So we have chosen 08 for Great Britain here, and now we will create the return value, and that would also be 08, so I have a correspondence between the Molga 08 and the return value 08. When we've done this, we was activating it with the stick. Then we'll set up the control table. We have an entry here 01, which I will use as a template for copying. And then I will set in the variable key. That's the variable key we was returned from the feature. The default validation, then you can actually set up different kind of functionality for the organizational key. And we will choose this one, default, that cannot be overridden and without any validation. And then again, I will choose a creation rule called 08, so the Molga is used as the control key all the way through. Here in the organizational key creation rule, I can set up the a rule for defining my organizational key. In this case, I will only use the BTRTL field, which is the personal sub area, but I could actually combine this field up to 14 characters. No longer, because if it exceeds 14 characters, you will receive a short dump in PA 30 and 40 and 20 as well. This is the validation part of it. I've never really used it, but you can actually do it when you are in this setup here for the control table here, where you can actually define whether it should be with validation or without validation. I normally use it without validation, and that's also what we have chosen here. Yes. So now we've been through the setup, and then we will actually go to the last part, and that's actually the test of this setup. But let's just return to the PowerPoint, just to one quick wrap up on this one. We've been through the PA30, where I showed you that you can find the VDSK1 on info type 1. You can see in PFCG in the roles the use of the VDSK1 in the two main authorization objects. And then we have this setup of the VDSK1, the organization key, in the IMG, and where we are going through the IMG. First we were setting up the feature, VDSK1 as well, it's called. And then we went to this control table, where we are assigning the output value, the variable key from the feature, to a creation rule. And then we went into the last setup, the creation rules, and here we stated that it was only the personal sub area we would use for our organizational key. But let's test it. So I will just go through a normal hire here in the organization. Choose a reason for action, then I choose a position, again one which is pre-prepared. Save. Then we have the personal data of the employee. Yes, and then let's save it. And now you can see we have the organizational key here. At the moment it's empty, but as soon as I'm entering something in the personal sub area, it will be reflected down here. Enter. And there it is. So it works. Now I have created this organizational key to reflect the personal sub area. In this case, personal sub area K400 reflected human resources. And with the role I had for the HR administrators, I was deselecting K400, so they would not have access to this employee. Excellent. So we have been through the test. So the final wrap up here. You've seen the organizational key used in the two objects porgin and porgin-con. You have seen how it is customized, and we have tested it, and it works. So I hope you will be able to find it useful and be able to use it in the future. It can actually solve different kind of authorization issues. So thank you for listening. You will be able to find more information of the customization in our next section, which is related to SAP HCM security and master data. And you can find more info about us on our website www.knuzen.com. Thank you.